Okay, hello people. Here we are with the second episode with the series of entrepreneurship. And here we are with Ramesh from UK. And so big energy from Ramesh. So starting with
Hey,
with how are you and what can you tell us about
how's
England, about UK?
how's it going, Kevin? Thank you for inviting me on the podcast. Um, how do you pronounce your surname? Strepava.
Strepparava. It's an Italian.
Strepparava. Oh, it's very Italian, Italian Swiss, right?
Yeah,
Strepparava.
excellent.
You said you're under the Alps, and yes, it's a pleasure to be invited on this wonderful podcast by you. It's incredible. We met over the course we did. What's it called? Startup Cambridge
Startup Sound.
funding startup to exit with the 5 modules from pre-seed, seed, Series
Yeah.
A, Series B, and exit. Wow, it was a really great course. It got me lots of knowledge, and I loved it really. And I think it's important to continue to learn as an entrepreneur, but also as a personal human, to like constantly be learning.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
And I
yeah,
saw that
exactly.
also you from like the beginning of your ages, I mean from 20 something of your years, you were beginning to start doing something called like a club or something like this. I saw on LinkedIn. That was
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, totally. So like, yeah, I guess my story was I was born in Bristol, which is a town 2 hours west of London, 500,000 people, really beautiful town. Banksy's from there,
Oh,
um, and Massive Attacker from there, Portishead, like really cool cultural left of center city. You know, it's a cathedral. I was born in St Michael's Hill, and I stayed there till I was 3 years old, and then we left, and our family moved up north to England and then to Holland. So I grew up a lot of my teenage years in Holland. Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands, so I spoke like a little bit of Dutch. And when I was 16, came back to school in England. In 20, moved back to Bristol with an idea of starting university. But I sort of went there, sort of starting to go to Bristol University, but I left with a first class honours in rave management, let's say. And I basically put on lots of raves and student parties. And we founded a nightclub called Motion, which went on to be voted in the top 20 clubs in the world in the DJ Mag list in 2016, 17, 18. I think
oh,
probably still now, 19, 20, but I left in 18. So I was with the club like 14, 15 years, was one of the people that did the first parties there. It was really incredible to be involved in that. Did that and set up an artist management company, and then brought a Spanish brand over to England called El Ro, which was one of the largest brands in commercial dance music.
a Spanish
They got
brand.
these
I also speak
Spanish brand,
Spanish.
yeah.
I also speak Spanish
Uh,
because my mother is from Peru, so Latin America, South America.
you
And
must speak a lot of languages. You must
yeah,
speak a lot of languages. You or Swiss people always speak loads of languages, and you speak Spanish.
yeah, I speak Italian because from my origins from Italy, then English, also Spanish as a mother language. Then I understand and speak a little bit of French, and then I understand and speak also a little bit of
German.
German, and that's it.
So you're on three fluent, and two probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Bueno, podemos seguir en español si quieres.
No seguimos en español. For the sake of the video, vamos a hablar
um,
únicamente en inglés.
so when I brought that Spanish brand over to England, and they took a VC investment, and we sold a lot of tickets, and we created a festival and a whole thing going on in England. I then got
How much
quite friendly with.
how much people on the festival?
We started a festival in 2017. It was like 15,000 people a day for 2 days. So like
Oh,
30,000 people a day, 17, 18, 19. It's still going on now, actually. In 19, it was 25,000 people for one day. We did it, which we moved sites. But I did an exit of that. We were doing about 100,000 tickets a year across the UK, across various different clubs and things. And we built that up from like, a few hundred. Our first show was in 2015 for like 700 people at Village
yeah.
Underground. and then we built it up. And we were selling the tickets quite quickly. You know, we were selling like 15,000 tickets. We sold in 4 or 5 hours, and then because the hype was really good when we launched the festival. That was really interesting. It was my first foray into like bigger business, because at that point in time, a venture capitalist fund that had just been created and wanted to move into entertainment had basically been created, and they put in an offer to buy this company that I was part of and I was a partner in. So that was a very interesting time. You know, I was doing a couple of different businesses, like an artist management company, a marketing agency. I was involved in the nightclub, but not a shareholder. And I like running the programming and marketing there. And like watching that VC come in and that business grow was amazing. I managed to do an exit in 2019 pre-pandemic, which was really like fortuitous, it gave me the ability to take a little backseat during the pandemic and sort of quieten down my day-to-day operations and take on some more learning, which is why we met in that course. Those education technology courses are incredible, especially with the connection from them. The ones that have the ability to connect you on like a WhatsApp group like we were, or like in small groups where you get to know the people, like, you know, it's really, really incredible to like, I had like Billy, Jean, Monica and Raza who were part of my group. And, you know, we all know each other now. Like we've all done 2 or 3 projects together. We know that like one lives in the countryside, or two were locked down in Barcelona, or this thing. And actually that's without being in a real legitimate classroom, but we learned a lot. We know where to look up online.
I mean, there were a lot of people from London. There were a lot of people from London, but also like from California. I remember a person from like the Silicon Valley also. I know that there was also the like vice president or vice director or something like this of the JP Morgan also in this course. But
he was in my group, yeah. Raza.
Really?
Raza was in the group, yeah. I mean, everyone's a person, aren't they? Really, like no matter what their job, it's like they're a person, they're an entrepreneur, they want to learn, they're an executive, they're a mother, a father. You know, it's like a son or a daughter. You know, that's quite nice. It's been really nice to do this learning over these years, to be honest, and get back into understanding that like constantly giving your brain new things to think about at daily is something that really sort of turns a person's energetic core on. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I saw with this. I mean, I don't have much. I'm not really old, so I'm 20 years old, so. I don't have much experience, but I did some online courses other than this Cambridge course that we did. And I saw that rather than all the theoretical and also managerial part that we can learn from these courses, they are really the people that we know. I mean, I remember one course I took months ago that was about leadership for the team, because I had because I had no more startup based on mental coaching, and I needed really a solid team building. So I took the course, and then I learned a lot of things, but also I met a lot of great people that helped me grow the team much more than the information they gave me. So it was like all with the networking. I mean, for me, it's really like the network is your network. Is always you hear these things, but for me, it's really like this, because really I can just text a person and get information from him, and also like sharing from information from my side, and that could help the both of us.
Yeah, it's the balance between like information sharing between people and being able to find your own way on the internet. So like when I was really going like up firstly in business or studying, let's say rave, when I was in Bristol, we couldn't really trust, you know, typing something in onto the internet like we can these days. It's not comparable to 15 years ago. 15 years ago, you could find what you wanted on the internet, but like you weren't really as sure as you are today. Today, like if you don't know the answer, Well, you don't need to know the answer. You just look it up on Google, because it's like you're gonna have the answer to the question. So it's beautiful, but it's just changed the way how your brain works. You want to stimulate your brain in other ways, let's say creativity, rather than like fact checking.
I mean, that's like something that could relate to like the Neuralink from Elon Musk, because I know that with that, I don't know if we can like search things on our mind like through Google or something, but
we will be able to. You've seen the Joe Rogan podcast, the second one with him on, right?
I know that right now he did like something about the misinformation about coronavirus or something.
Watch the Joe Rogan with Elon Musk, the second one,
Okay.
Second time he had him on, and they talk about Neuralink in that podcast. And in that podcast, Elon Musk goes, Joe Rogan's sort of saying, you know, do you think what's the morality of like Neuralink? And Elon Musk's like, well, we've got to watch about this size. You can put it in your head, and you know, we can connect it to your brain, and you know, you'll just be able to like look up whatever you want, speak whatever language you want. And Joe Rogan's like, what? So like, we'll all be cyborgs? And he was like, well,
maybe.
He was like, well, we already are, aren't we? He's like, we're just cyborgs with our finger. Oh, you don't know the answer. Who won the European Cup 1967?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Celtic. It's like we already are cyborgs. So putting it in your head, and then Joe Rogan's kind of like, well, but what do you think? How are you going to get that past like, you know, whatever board? And he's like, well, you see, if it can cure people with Alzheimer's, or if it can cure people with a spinal injury, if it can cure people with dementia, then they're going to start having it. And then when they realize that it's safe, then the price and the price comes down, or it doesn't come down. So one guy is just going to be like, well, I want it. I'll pay, you know, $1 billion for it, or I'll pay like 100 million for it. And he's like, well, it's probably going to be the best investment he's ever made, whoever does that, because he'll just be the smartest guy out there. And when there are 10 of you, you'll basically be a different species or a different race. I don't know whether you'll have to plug yourself in or whether you can solar charge the chip in your head, but like, I think they're coming.
Yeah, but this is really something that will change all the schooling system. And because
imagine having to plug yourself in.
Yeah, like,
it's like, oh, it's the end of the night, like, oh, just can't, like, just you know, you have to have a charging point next to your bed or something. Like, what?
Yeah, we have like wireless batteries.
You ran out of battery. Like, oh, they got to solve that, haven't they? It's like power off.
Oh, I know. Exactly.
Like,
I mean, that would be really strange. Because in one moment, when we have like the battery for these things, we will know everything. And then when we don't have much battery, like we don't know, I mean, we know all the things we knew before, but that's really, I mean, it's almost scary. But it's also awesome to understand that maybe we can really know everything. I mean, not everything, but in general, like all the known things.
Well, we can share. I think the beautiful thing about this is like we can share our knowledge, because the best sites out there, let's take Wikipedia, one of my favorite sites, and it's free. It's by no donation, which is just incredible. It's even better than free. Like I can say I've donated, and like whenever I feel it and I read something great, or like, cool, you can donate, and you're like, people are sharing what their knowledge of the world is. And when like 8 billion people, or let's say 4 billion people, share like what their information, and maybe if it's plugged into your head, or if it's on your phone or on your computer, whatever, like you're sharing that information, and it's like it's equivalent to like open source code, Wikipedia, like whatever's coming, because when people share what they've done before, rather than patent it for 20 years, the exponential curve just goes like that. Yeah. It's like, it's, you know, it's incredible.
I know.
I love that exponential curve, and I love the curve of innovation as well. Like those things like are just, they're really incredible to show how quickly things are moving, and how things become interesting and then lag off, and then a new thing becomes interesting and lags off. You know, you can look at where Facebook is on the curve or where Instagram is on the curve. They're both over the top. But whereas like cryptocurrencies or Web3 are like in innovation to early majority. It's like it's quite interesting, and it's interesting how the world is going to like, you know, completely change from, you know, having a job for life to having to hold facts in your mind to actually people being championed for entrepreneuring and creating, and, you know, to not have to work an entire day every day to be able to get what they need out of life.
Yeah, I know, but it's like really a world without working, without anything. I don't know. I mean, like knowing everything, I don't know if it will be good. I mean, even for I don't know, because like we all like tend to learn new things. I mean, I like to like have information and things, but also maybe there was a thing that I don't know who said it, but the fact that also the kids that have this kind of awesome things in their head, like they learn a new things and they're like, oh, that's awesome, like something like this, and we will be like empty on that side. So yeah, creative, yes, but maybe there will be like no more surprises for us in general. Maybe there will be more activities on like sports or something like this, because there will be only the side that we can like surprise ourselves with, because in general with information there will be all. So I don't know, it's kind of a thought that I give.
Yeah, it's like I think like utopia is something like, you know, everyone's given maybe like a universal basic income that like, you know, covers the things that they really need to like live their life, right? And then a portion of your time is like spent on creativity or creating projects, either solo writing or collaborating with people, maybe startups, or like creating basically. And then a portion of your time is like spent to give to the community, like whether it's that's on regenerative farming, or whether it's like you know, like looking after your neighbor's garden, or the kids or the animals, or like this kind of thing, like localized. So creating can be done online, can be done localized, then some localized work that engenders you into your neighbors and your community. You've got your universal basic income. You can add to more when you create more, and then you have some family time, exercise, sport. And it's like, can we work towards that? I don't know. We're going to have to see. But the world's definitely becoming like a more creative space for the knowledge that we're sharing, which is, you know, like incredible in so many ways.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I saw that you like this kind of information, like people sharing things, and maybe can relate to the Assembled Talent, like the company, or yeah, or no.
So Assembled Talent's been my company for 10 years, and I've done various things with it. It's a consultancy company, and I use it to like invest in certain projects, or I've booked lineups for festivals, or we partner with different brands and brought them to the UK. Done a number of things in the music space and in the technology space and the entrepreneurship space, let's say. I will probably turn it into a conference for startups coming in the coming years. But yeah, like what there's something. It's your podcast, but I think you might be into this. Like, I like to play this game that like you kind of like think about the near future, like where you would like to be in 2040. And so you got like, you're like, okay, so and some people do these parties, right? Where, in fact, I'll probably do one, where you've got to like come to the party as you've got to dress, it's a fancy dress party, but you've got to dress up as you, but you in 2040. So that's in like what, 20 years, right? 18 years. And so you've got to come as you in 2040, and you've got to come with a backstory you've got to come with a backstory of how you got to where you are. So you've got to wear your like futuristic clothes or whatever. You're like Burberry from like or whatever you think Burberry will look like in 2040. And you've got to like be like, okay, so what am I gonna like? How am I gonna get here? Hoverboard, teleporter? Do you know what I mean? And then like, what have I got? Have I got like, you know, what's been in tow for me? Where do I live? Do you know what I mean? Have I live in a villa in Ibiza, or like in the South Pole, or the center of Paris? Did I come on my jet? Wait, we don't really travel like that anymore. What have I been farming today? Where are my 3 kids? Do you know what I mean? Like it's quite I quite like that concept, because if you believe in that and you believe in fun and playing games alongside entrepreneurship and those like boundaries of like when humans get to play, they become the most creative. But when you create the rules of the game, like the moment you step onto the pitch, you're in that state of complete play, whether that's like a sort of experimental house somewhere, whether that's a football pitch, you're kind of like you're in that state of play. So if you create those rules for a party, you then basically end up in a state of pure manifestation, which could be which could be quite cool. Well, so but in 2040, you're not even going to be 40. You'll still be in your 30s. In 2040, you'll be the same age as I am now. I'm 37 now. So in 2040, you'll be 38. I love it. I don't know. Do we look 20 years apart?
I mean, I don't know. I think no. I mean, not 20 years. Maybe I would say 10. But yeah. But it's really. I mean, in 2040, we. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. 2040 will be fun. How old will I be in 2040? I'll be 55, right? So I'll be 55. Like, wow. Like, what could you have done by the time you're 55? Like, wow. It's like, what could you do in like 20 years? Like, you underestimate what you can do in 1 year, right? This is the way around it is. You underestimate what you can do
in 1 year.
In 10 years. You overestimate what you can do in 1 year, but you underestimate what you could do in 3. And 18 years is 6 times 3 years. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but it's like, because
you're now underestimating 6 times. So like whatever you think you'll be in 2040, like you'll probably be 60 times more than that.
Yeah, and that's made me think, because like in my age, I know that you have been through, but in my age, you know that you want everything like right now, you want everything in like maximum 1 month, like the result of something. And that makes you think, because I mean, 10 years for me right now, it's not like that much. But really thinking about it and making like, I don't know, a project in 10 years, it's really scary. But we need to think that all the things needs to be built up. So it's nothing like that comes today and this goes all okay, and then in 1 month it explodes. I mean, that would be like really, really cool, but I don't think that would be the case. But really the concept of time for the people of my age in general, so like maybe teenager from like 25, I think, if I think to estimate. Like,
what do you call yourselves? You guys Gen Z or millennials? You're Gen Z, aren't you?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah. Millennials is a little bit.
Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z. But really, I mean, the Gen Z generation, I think that's okay, because I think all the people my age thinks about this way. Like we really want the things to be done instantly, and that's, I don't know,
I want it done yesterday. I want it done yesterday, and I don't want to drink. And what health supplements have you got? Is that Gen Z?
Yeah, I think that's Gen Z in this moment. I think, yeah.
Do you drink? Do you drink alcohol?
Yeah, I drink alcohol, but not like exponentially. I think I do it like for fun, but it's not like to waste me.
Exponentially. Imagine the exponential curve of alcoholism.
I mean, I drink because I like beer, I like wine, red wine. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
I haven't drunk alcohol in like 3 years, more than 3 years, 3.5 years. Yeah, I used to drink alcohol, but like I don't know, I stopped, and like I don't know, like I don't know, I think I got younger. It's like yeah, I stopped. I went sober for a year, like fully sober for a year, and then I've carried on not drinking, and yeah, it's like a really, it's a really incredible feeling actually, like forgetting the feeling of being hungover, forgetting the feeling of the recovery. You do realize though, you have those ups and downs anyway. So you if you've been out on a night and like had dinner or stayed up a bit late or done all those things and you're sober, you still like have a bit of a come down, a hangover, but it's just quick. It's like half an hour or 2 hours, you know, like rather than like a day, you know, or 3 days, or a week if you really
my God, a week.
you really went at it hard for a couple of days, then yeah, a week, and then it's the next weekend, right? It's a good way of passing the time. But yeah, like the not drinking's been like pretty exceptional for me. Like I really enjoy it. I mean, I'm sure I'll go back to, you know, having a bit of wine, especially the nice natural wines. They look good, and I've had the odd sip here and there. But like, you know, I'm not in, let's say, AA, but it's just a choice. You know, it gives me the freedom. I was watching something today actually on sugar. You know, I'm wanting to give up sugar, right? I haven't had any sugar today.
Okay.
Let me think about that. I had some prune. I had a couple of prunes, but like I haven't had any refined sugar today.
It's difficult without sugar. I mean, sure, it's like a really important part of our diet.
I feel like it's, do you know, I feel like the thing that's important in our diet and our lives is freedom of choice, right? And so someone once told me like I love being free, not going on a diet. You know, like I love being able to be free, not going on a diet. Like I can have these cakes, I can do what I want. I like feel fit, I feel healthy. Like I've been on this big weight journey, right? Like I think I was like over 30 kilos heavier in my 20s. So I probably looked 20 years older than you then. And then like I've been on this journey and stuff and cut out sugar at various points, but I really, really want the freedom of choosing when I have sugar. And right now I have the freedom of choosing when I have alcohol. I think that's probably why I gave up alcohol, to cut out the sugar. But I don't want to drink your calories, right? And you're like, I watch these videos to like give up the sugar, and he's sort of telling me like, or he's telling stories. This guy Eric's telling these stories, and he's like going, you know, someone's telling him, you know, I feel free. Well, I feel free being able to choose whatever I want to eat. And he's like, well, you know, if you went over to my house tonight and I had a tiramisu at the end of the night, like, you know, would you have it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, but could you not have it? And he's like, if it was there, I'd probably have it. And he's like, well, are you free? It's so interesting. It's like when it's in front of you, like not having it, that's like the real freedom. But it's not from abstaining, it's from choice. Like today, I'm not going to have it, and that like that freedom of like internal choice, like
that's really
kind of like everything in life, right? Everything in life, and then that comes into entrepreneurship, which is where your podcast is, and I like that freedom of choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, because it seems so easy to just say no. It's actually really difficult because it's something that you don't think about it, because you're like, you think you have the choice because you're choosing to drink, but instead you don't have really the choice, the freedom to, because it's, I mean, so next time someone gives you a coffee, so next time you order a coffee when you go to the bar, you're like Swiss Italian, right? Yeah.
Do you eat the biscuit? They give you the biscuit. Do you eat the biscuit?
I mean, I would eat it.
But can you not eat it?
I can not. But it's
can you enjoy the choice of leaving the biscuit?
because now I have like the thing that I've left the biscuit.
Try it. See if you can choose to leave the biscuit every other coffee for a week. You know, one coffee you have, one coffee you don't, one coffee you have, one coffee you don't. That's the freedom of the sugar choice. You know, or like when you go to a friend's house for dinner, can you only have one glass of wine? Or can you not have any glass of wine? But then another day, can you have it?
Yeah.
That's the real, like, it's completely wild, like being able to have it one day and not another. And you being the master of that choice, not your emotions. Not like, oh, I feel a bit funny today, I'm going to have it. Oh no, and in the moment, you said you're not going to have it today, and then you have it.
Yeah,
it's basically doing what you say you'll do. If you're like, I am going to drink everything and I'm going to eat all sugar for all the next 3 months or forever, then you can do that. But at some point, like, the triggers are probably in control of you at that, because you're like, sometimes you're probably not feeling like the sugar and then the biscuit comes with the coffee, or sometimes you're not feeling like the alcohol, but then your friend calls you, come out. You know, you're like, and it's interesting. It's like, you know, are you really, like, how do you train yourself to be like fully in control?
It is really training the mind, because I know that, I mean, I tend to like have a really tight schedule on my day.
You're a time boxer.
Yeah, like a time boxer. I mean, I have like really weeks set up, like sentences like this. And I mean, every day, I tend to like wake up at 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. Okay, and then I have
proper Robin Sharma.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I have to go to the gym. I have to study and other things. And that's only because I want to train my mind. Because when I'm waking up at 6 o'clock or 5:30. I know they don't want to go to the gym. I don't want. But I need to do that. I need to go to like get my ass and get up and go to the gym, because that's really not it's not really the physical part that is difficult, because you have done like maybe 6.5 hours of night sleep, so you're good. It's really the mental part. And also when I finish the gym, I go under the shower, and then the last 30 seconds, cold shower. But because why? I mean, I have the choice to do that. I don't have, I mean, I know that I want to have a...
Have you started to enjoy the cold showers yet though?
Yeah, I mean, I've doing it since about like a month and a half right now. And every day, I mean, not every day I go to the gym, because sometimes I'm really, really tired. But every day I wake up and take a shower, and then the last 30 seconds, cold shower. I mean, I know it's something... Have you ever tried
100% cold shower?
I mean, that's...
Try it. The trick with it, right? When you do the 100% cold shower, it's really, really good, because like you're there for practical reason as well. So you have to wash yourself in the cold. I mean,
exactly.
You're there for longer. Obviously, like, there are parts of it where you might stand outside of the water flow, but you do 100% cold shower. The feeling of that is, and you if you like the 30 second at the end, try the 100% and try and you get under it. You do your 30 seconds. You get out, you put your soap on, and then you get back in and you wash yourself off, and don't do any hot water. And the feeling, the buzz that you get, incredible. Like, it goes one step up, and then you start timing yourself and doing a bit longer. But also, one thing that I hadn't done till recently, I went to a retreat actually, and I'll tell you about the retreat in a second. And like, on the retreat, they said there was a good what do you call it, like a good protocol, or a good, like, people were saying that if you have the cold showers in the evening, you get better sleep, because I was only having them in the morning to wake me up.
Really?
And because basically the cold shower reduces your heartbeats, like it lowers your heartbeat, it lowers your nervous system, so it slips you into the parasympathetic nervous system, if I'm understanding it correctly. And you basically go more into like rest and digest rather than fight and flight, right? Because fight and flight, it's like when you're like this, and rest and digest, you're like in a meditative state. And you go into it, and I've got this ring, right, that monitors my heartbeat. Have you seen them before? It's called the Hour Ring. It's like, it's incredible. It's an amazing biohack. I love it. I swear by it. I've had it for 2 years. And it measures your heart rate variability. It measures your resting heart rate and all this stuff. And when you have the cold showers, you have a better sleep. Like, it's guaranteed. You have the cold shower, you have a better sleep. In fact, I had a cold shower just before we jumped on, and it just makes you feel like,
really. I really, because the last thing because I really ever listen that in the morning, like cold shower, and then in the evening, because before you go to bed in the night, warm shower, because it's like
warm shower, yeah. Because you want to feel warm and like you want to feel cozy and stuff. Honest to God, I never believed it. I was like doing this. I've been doing this for years, right? And like, as in the cold showers, but not at night. I was like cold in the morning, like thing. And I started like how you started, 30 seconds at the end. And now I'm like, I don't even want a hot shower. You know, occasionally I'll have a hot shower, and I would do enjoy it, but generally I don't want one. And in like the retreat I went on this incredible retreat. I'll show you a post from it. And in November, it was at Wim Hof's house. Well, it's at his base camp.
No,
it was pretty. No. It was proper incredible, right? My friend from Barcelona was like, "Oh, do you want to go to this thing?" And I was like, "Oh," looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm in Holland." I was in Holland, just like not randomly, but I was in Holland. I was like, "Yeah, we can go to this." And we went, and it was supposed to be one of Wim Hof's instructors, like teaching us the breathwork method and all this stuff. A few days before, they were like, "Look, the instructor's ill, so the instructor's got the virus, but we were going to cancel it, but we're not going to cancel it. Wim's coming." And like the session was taken by Wim's two daughters, Isa and Laura. And they were amazing, beautiful, like they're like beautiful souls. They guided us through the process like really well. And there were a couple of other people there, Zolt and Oren and like Justin. And it was incredible. The crew of people that were there, like all so different, but they're all brought together by this like breathing vibe, you know? And then Wim would turn up like every few hours and be like, hey, I'm Wim. And like, and just proper Wim it out. And like, we got in the ice bath. I got in the ice bath with Wim.
Whoa! Like, how does it feel? I mean, it's like breathtaking. I mean, I think. Or I
mean, I'm really into it. So like, yeah, like to be honest, like it's super meditative. Like when you get into if you're, it's maybe the first couple of times you do it's really scary, but like once you know you can do it. Your mind plays with you a bit, but when you're in, and you just stay. And then obviously when you get out, it's really tricky. You have to do this, like they do this thing, the Wim Hofers do this thing, and they're like, they got you to go like this, and you go,
like
and it's like the proper Wim Hofers are like that, and it's like that's quite funny to be honest. Like it's good. I would, when I've done it on my own, not there, like at the project in Ibiza and stuff. It's like we get in the fridge and it's cool. And afterwards, you maybe do some press ups, or you just go for a long walk, or you know, that kind of thing. But it's definitely, you know, it's something that I like. If I had access to an ice bath, I'd probably do it once a week. But it does take quite a bit of time because it's not like 5 minutes. It's like you prepare for it, you get in, you have to warm yourself up, then you get about your day. It's like, you know, I don't know.
It's like a morning thing that you will do once in a week.
Half an hour. I mean, to be honest, if I'm like, I'll probably put like one of those freezers in my house or something. If I've got the opportunity to do that, that'll be really cool. Because you can just do it in a chest freezer, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool doing stuff like that, like going around the world, like, you know, helping DJs run their businesses to like, you know, going to Wim Hof retreats. It's cool.
I mean, we
Well,
hope
actually,
everyone has seen it.
there's another guy that I'd love to tell you about. He's like,
Hmm?
he's kind of like, let's say, in between Wim Hof and Rave, right? He's called the Breath Pod. If you go onto his Instagram, it's just at Breath Pod.
Okay.
And he does breathwork sessions to like really, really great music. And he has, if you go on Spotify and type in Breath Pod, you have that those sessions there. And he's just got a show on Radio 1. He's just put a book out. Like, he's a really cool guy. His name's Stuart Sanderman. And he's just like, that's like, he's paired up like doing great music with a young, cool vibe, with like wellness and like how to manifest and like treat yourself well. Like, he covers in his sessions, I went to one of his sessions a while ago, he covers like a lot of topics that Joe Dispenza does, that Wim Hof does, you know, that, you know, even Simon Sinek. These like personal growth gurus and stuff, like, they're quite cool at the moment, aren't they? And they, you know, taking concepts that have been around since like Freud and Nietzsche, and like really just, you know, redoling them out. You know, since then it's been like Alan Watts, Deepak Chopra, and it's like they're not the most relevant of people. You know, like not everyone can engage with Sadhguru, Deepak Chopra, Alan Watts. You know.
Yeah.
But people are engaging with like a funny Wim Hof, or even Joe Dispenza. He's like a little bit difficult to engage with if you're someone that's more rave or more physical. I don't know, like, and when you've got people that you can resonate with, that are basically saying, you know, the same things or the teachings in their own format, then that's cool, and it's really helping people open their mind.
You know, it's like the mental part of the person. It's really interesting. It's also like another person, I don't know if you know it, but he's called David Goggins. It's like a marine military person. I mean, he's like
we love Goggins. We love Goggins. Every time we do a pull-up, I think of Goggins.
Yeah,
You've got Goggins like breaking his hand on the pull-ups.
I mean, it's really like this. I mean, strong mentality of him. It's absurd. I mean,
go on. Sorry, carry on.
I mean, it's like I wanted to read like the book of him, like Can't Hurt Me. And
did you listen
like,
to it or did you read it?
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Did you listen to Can't Hurt Me or did you read it?
No, I wanted to read it.
You wanted to, or you have read it?
Yeah, I have the book. I mean, I have the ebook.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you get a chance to listen to it because it's so good to listen to.
Really?
Because some of these audiobooks, right, like that I've only realized more recently, they have someone reading them, or like the guy reads them, but then basically at the end of each chapter, or at like certain interesting bits, then they chat together. So the guy that wrote the book reads it, and then Goggins is sitting in the next box, and then they're just like at the end of the chapter, then the guy that's read the chapter will just ask David Goggins some questions about the chapter, and then they'll start talking, kind of like this podcast. And so they'll talk about it. And so it's an audiobook sort of / podcast, and it's so good. To be honest, I listened to it while I was running. I was like, right, I was listening to it in like November or something, and I'm like running, you know, like 20k a week, you know, not a lot compared to David Goggins. And like David Goggins is like, yeah, man, they sent me to like inspire young cadets to come to the Navy. And then then in between, I was like running from university to university, like 50 kilometers. And I was like, what? I'm like running at like five minutes a kilometer, like going, this is great. And you know, like I was like, he's doing what? And I was like, Goggins. I'm just thinking in my head, Goggins, let's go. His attitude is like incredible. I mean, he was pretty fat and pretty big, you know, at one point in his life, and you know, he was sort of knocking cockroaches out of like Wendy's diner or like whatever, some pancakes shack in America, and he's just like gone, fuck this, I'm sorting myself out, and he's just consistently he studied. I vividly remember he failed a test to get into the Marines, and then he had to retake the test. He failed the test because of one little part on the test. He had to retake the test, and he's like studying while on his bike, and I'm visualizing him talking about this, and he's like on his bicycle, like cycling and studying at the same time. And then he's gone to go and get his test results for the like second time he's done the test. And I like running, listening to this book. And like I'm in the countryside in Ibiza, and like I'm like going, you know, when he said that he got his results to pass the test, I just went, yes. I was like, Goggins has got into the Marines, and he was that emotionally invested in the book. It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
There is also like a film in Netflix called 14 Peaks, where a person is hiking for the 14 most high peaks in the world.
Yeah. I've not seen that yet, but some people said we'd like it. Yeah, you've seen that? It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you have time, like an hour and a half, something like this. I mean, really, it's a really good film. It's inspirational because really, the last record was like 8 years or 7 years to do 14 peaks, and he did it in like weeks. So it was really out of the mind because no one believed in him because he wanted to like I mean, you will watch it or no, because maybe I will tell something.
No, wait, because there might be one or two other people watching this, and so like watch whoever's watching this, just watch 14 Peaks. I haven't watched
it. Just watch it like this. Okay, so
what else do you watch? You watch anything else?
Well, I watch pretty much like crime documentaries, really, in general, because I don't know, I like the crime investigation part.
CSI.
Yeah, exactly, and all
this. You bang a lot of CSI. That's amazing.
Yes, CSI. I mean, I was maybe 13 or 12 when I started watching CSI, so a long time ago. But really, CSI is like a must in the crime. But like in maybe Netflix, something like this, now they are catching up in a series like I Am a Killer or something like this. This kind of killers that they talk about what they've done or something like this. And I mean, it's not for anyone, but if you're interested in these things.
You see, you're watching I Am a Killer, and then you're learning about startup fundraising from a Cambridge Judge Business School course. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're both in the same.
I'm reading David Goggins and doing pull-ups in the gym with Robin Sharma.
Yeah. I mean, like, but yeah, all these people like really mentally strong are like an inspiration. Is for me, it's not like I want to become like them, but who knows? I mean, it's always to better myself, to have a strong mind, because it always helps, I think, in general.
Yeah, very good. Oh my God, it's been such a pleasure to come on and share with you and exchange, and it's been fun as well.
Thank you to you. And yeah, that's all for today. So guys, we'll catch up in the next episode.